What is happening, Swanky Gang? My name is Reed. It is a beautiful day here in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, guys, so we're starting a new series today, just trying to help beginners figure out what discs they should be trying out to get a good general idea of what may work for them, what might not work for them so well. Just trying to give you guys an idea of the best discs for beginners in each category. And today we're starting with mid-range discs. Now, I know you're probably thinking, like, why are they starting with mid-range discs? It's like the least popular disc on the market. And that may be. They're not as popular as some other discs, but you guys, if you can figure out mid-range discs early on, for you beginners who haven't thrown a lot of disc golf discs yet, if you can figure out mid-range discs first, if you can get good with these, that will change your game from here on out. That will make a huge difference in your game moving forward into putters, into drivers. So that's why we wanted to help you guys out with mid-ranges first. So without further ado, I'm going to jump into our first mid-range. Now, the first mid-range I want to highlight for beginners is the Buzz or the Buzz SS. This is a Buzz SS, but either one, I think this is probably the most popular mid-range on the market, and for good reason. The Buzz feels great in the hand. It is beadless, so it feels pretty natural for players who are just trying to grip it for the first time. It's very comfortable, and it's very neutral flying. Especially the Buzz SS for beginners is very neutral. I think it's 5.5, -1.1, and it's just, maybe it's -2.1. It's just very straight flying for a beginner who doesn't have that power yet, hasn't figured out their form. If you want something that's gonna fly straight, a lot of beginners just want something to go straight. Why are all these discs turning left out of my hand? Get yourself a Buzz SS. Maybe you're a little more advanced, or you've tried a Buzz SS, or you tried a more neutral mid-range before and you think it's turning right too much, or you want something more dependable, then you could upgrade to the Buzz. I think the Buzz SS is probably best for your very first mid-range, and then you could upgrade to the Buzz once you like the feel of it. They actually work great. I bag both of them. They're great complements to each other. So that's the Buzz and the Buzz SS. Next, guys, this is my Rock 3. And I think this is going to be probably your second most popular mid-range on the market. Now, I'm not making this video as a mid-range popularity contest. Okay, that's not what it is. I just genuinely think these 5 are the best for beginners who are trying to get a good idea of what a mid-range disc is and what it does. So this is very different from the Buzz. This Rock 3 is going to be a lot more overstable, and it is beaded. The Rock is also beaded, so it has a very different feel from the Buzz. You can see at the bottom there's a bead. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but it changes the feel entirely, and some people live and die by a beaded putter, and some people don't. I'm sorry, beaded mid-range, and some people don't. But it feels very different in the hand, and you should throw what's comfortable for you. So this Rock 3 is going to be a lot more overstable than the Buzz, but not quite as overstable as another disc I'm going to get into later. Not so stable that it won't beat into a pretty straight flyer for you. This is a great disc, and this is by Innova Discs, Rock 3. This one's a glow, but they make them in a lot of plastics, just like with the Buzz. And if you're looking for something more overstable, something that's going to turn to the left more out of your hand on a backhand throw, then the Rock 3 is a great option and a really popular mid-range. All right, guys, moving on to something a little bit different. Not quite as popular mid-range, but maybe the most popular in their make and market is the MVP Reactor. This is a glow reactor, and again, this is more about feel than it is about flight for me. A lot of people love the feel of these overmold discs. You can see the difference, guys, if you haven't heard of the MVP or Axiom discs. They have a separate piece of plastic that makes up the rim. And a lot of people swear by this. A lot of people say it makes it fly further. I don't know if that's true. I'd argue it's probably not true, but it does change the feel of the disc. This is gonna fly very similar to a Buzz or a Buzz SS. It's very straight flying, very much Anheuser, whatever line you put this on, it's gonna take that line for you. And for a beginner who's never thrown an overmold disc, this would be something great for you guys to throw. Something that's gonna hold that line, stay straight for a really long time, and has tons of glide. These reactors have tons of glide. So yeah, MVP Reactor would be my third recommendation. All right, guys, moving on to my fourth recommendation. For beginners, if you have thrown the Buzz SS, if you have thrown the Reactor, and they're still turning left for you, it's possible that you may need to start out a little less stable right out the gate, okay? And it's possible that most of those problems are form issues, and you can work through that. But while you're starting, while you're figuring out those form issues, the Discraft Meteor would be a great place for you to go for a disc that turns to the right. This is a massively understable mid-range. I think it's -3.1 when it comes to the stability ratings. And this thing's gonna turn right for you, especially for new players. If you're gonna put it on Anheuser, this thing will turn and it will go right. I don't recommend you use this as a crutch, because if you work on your form and if you try hard enough, that Buzz SS and that Reactor, if you work on it, they will start turning right for you, especially over time as you beat them in, you hit enough trees with them, they will start to turn right. But right out of the box, this thing's gonna turn right for you guys. So I would pick up a Meteor. A lot of people love them. Even pros are throwing this, guys, as slow right turners, something that can pop up on a hyzer and it'll ride to the right. So yeah, this is actually my brand new Tour Series Meteor. I haven't even thrown this yet, but I've thrown Meteors before. No bead on this one. Very, very comfortable, very domey. It's gonna turn right, guys, promise. All right, so the very opposite, and this is my last mid-range for you guys. This is not technically a beginner mid-range. This is what I would call, if you feel like you've mastered these four, if you feel like you've got a handle on it, you're throwing your Rock 3, you're throwing your Buzz, and you're getting good straight lines with them, and you need something to turn corners with, I would suggest an MD4 from Discmania. This is one of my favorite overstable mid-ranges, and it is very overstable, guys. So especially for a beginner, someone who hasn't dealt with a disc this stable, throwing this on a right-hand, backhand line is going to dump to the left, okay? Especially brand new. These things are very overstable, and they're very reliable. And that's another thing. While you beat these in, you hit them with trees, they're becoming less and less stable. This is a really old MD4 in my bag, and it is still very beefy. It's still something I can pop out straight. It's gonna dump to the left at the end of the flight, no doubt about it. And that's something you can use it to turn corners on a hyzer. If you pop it up high, it'll come back down. If you need something to forehand, as a mid-range forehand, a lot of people just don't forehand mid-ranges, but the MD4 is a great mid-range to forehand because it's very predictably stable. So with that, guys, that is our beginner mid-range stack. Let me know in the comments what your favorite mid-ranges are. I know I left off a few big names. The Mako 3 is one I left off, and I know a lot of you are going to swear by the Mako 3. I'm saying it because I knew I was going to see it in the comments. I think it's a little too similar to the Buzz SS or to the Reactor to be included. It's just a very neutral flying mid. So yeah, guys, go try these mid-ranges. Hope this helps, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay swanky.